this week's 5 Live report about grooming. You may find some of the material in this report disturbing.
I'm Julia Rook, and in today's 5 Live report, grooming children for prostitution. Girls as young as 12 are being groomed by organised gangs for sex. It often begins with an older man they think is a boyfriend.
The man that owned the flat, he raped me. His cousin came and I had to have sex with him, and then he locked me in his flat and it won't let me go.
By the time they're 13, these girls are sucked into a world of sexual exploitation and even prostitution.
She was being taken to various houses where they were actually having group sex sessions. There was money changing hands.
Most parents are unaware of what's really going on until it's too late, and they feel powerless to stop it.
I want my daughter back to how she was. I love her to bits, but I don't like her very much at the moment. They've changed her so much. I can't cope with it. It's horrible.
In this report, I travelled to West and South Yorkshire to find out who these gangs of men are and how they lure these children away from their parents to abuse them sexually. For their own safety, the identities of the families in this programme have been disguised.
Across the UK, this is 5 Live.
The 5 Live report.
We're now going down to the local park. The larger park consists of slide, swings, roundabout. We've there got 3 young white girls who were in the company of 5 young Asian men.
It all looks very innocent. Those boys are the same age as those girls.
Yeah, it does. It does, and I think things start off very innocently.
The friendships we're seeing here may well be innocent, but for Alison, not her real name, this park has more sinister undertones.
Yeah, this is where my daughter met people. This is where it all started.
And the boys that she initially met were her age, weren't they?
Yeah. The ones she initially met were lads from school, which she started to meet the lads from school in the park.
Alison's daughter, we've called her Molly, was a happy child and doing well at school. But suddenly, at the age of 12, she began truanting, being disruptive and abusive to her teachers. When Alison tried to ground her, she escaped through a bathroom window. Now 16, and in her first ever interview, Molly reveals how it started.
I met a group of Asian lads that went to the school, and my group of friends, we started hanging around with them. And then gradually, well actually it was over at 3 months. You know, you go to meet the older ones and you hang around with them, and one thing led to another, and we met like the brothers or the cousins, and they used to come and pick us up in the cars, buy us mobile phones, give us money, buy us drinks, buy us cigarettes, beer, everything, you know, and we thought it were great because we were getting all these things that really we weren't supposed to have.
And how old were you at the time?
12.
So how many girls were you together?
There were about 7 or 8, and then there was some from the year below us.
So did you have a special boyfriend?
No, not really. I mean, we used to hang around with them all, but you know, they tell you that they loved you and everything else.
Molly was treated like a princess. She was made to feel grown up and special. But her fun time with a gang of 20-something-year-old men turned sour when she was 13. Her mother Alison took me to the scene of an incident that was to change their lives. I'm driving through the streets of Keighley with Alison, and we're in a very nice part of town, surrounded by very tall, elegant buildings, and we're just going to stop outside one of them.
Just turn around right at the traffic lights, and just as we turn the corner here is a flat. This flat is regularly where my daughter, when she was 13, was taken and would be kept there. Every time I walk past, I always look up at the place. You're just drawn to it.
Molly was held against her will in this flat by a man in his 30s whom she'd never seen before. Molly and her mother believe that what happened here was planned and organised and the result of the grooming which had started 12 months earlier. And what about the man who did this to her? Do you see him?
Yes.
Have you spoken to him?
I've never spoken to him. He knows who I am. So he tries when I see him to not make eye contact with me.
For Molly, recalling what happened in this flat is still very painful.
My friend had a boyfriend and he took us out in his car. And I think he had it all planned. He gave me like a spliff. And there must have been something in it because I couldn't walk, I couldn't see. I was totally gone. And then he took me to this flat. And the man that owned the flat, he raped me.
Still feels bad.
Yeah.
Did you tell anybody what happened?
I didn't think they'd believe me because I was thrown away. And he said, you consented to it. I said, no, I didn't. I said, I'm only 13, I didn't. Oh, well, no, you did. And you said you'd be my girlfriend. I said, I didn't. And then he locked me in his flat and it won't let me go.
But what happened in that flat? Was it just you and him, or did he bring other people around?
No, his cousin came. And I had to have sex with him.
How old was this man who kept you locked in a flat for a month?
I'd say in his 30s. He was Pakistani.
But was he married? Do you know anything about him?
Yeah, we were married. Yeah, he had a wife over in Pakistan.
Eventually the man let her go, but a few weeks later he started pursuing her again.
I seen him again. He said, oh, come on, let's get in my car, come on. I love you, you know, I really like you. He said, and, you know, I do like you and I want to go out with you. So I thought, well, is this what it's supposed to be like, having a proper relationship with someone? He acted nice, and he was nice towards me. And it confused me, it really did.
These men know how to trade on teenage rebellion and turn children against their parents. But these men also know the law and often wait until the girls are 13 before they have sex, as they did with Molly. The penalty for sex with a child over the age of 13 is more lenient than for sex with a younger child, which can be a life sentence. But securing a conviction is very difficult because from the age of 13, cases are less likely to be brought to court unless the girl gives a statement to the police. And children like Molly rarely do that. After months of grooming, the men have almost total control over them. Having been initiated at 13, for Molly there was worse to come. She was sucked back into the gang and had to prove her loyalty to her next so-called boyfriend by having sex with other men. So these men are passing girls round between their friends?
Yeah.
So what makes the girl say to her boyfriend, okay, I'll go with your friend? Most girls usually say, get lost.
Because they tell you that that's the way that it works in these groups.
What do they say?
My friend likes you. Oh, alright, yeah. Or he'd like to sleep with you. Right, yeah, but if you love me, you'd do it. And at 13, you think, you don't really know what love is. You know, and you think, right, well, I really do like him, so you think I need to do anything not to lose him. And, you know, if you do like him, you don't want to lose him, but...
Is money passing hands?
No. No, not it didn't with me, no, but I'm not saying it doesn't do.
Molly was eventually taken into care for her own safety. Being away from home forced her to grow up and understand how she'd been abused. She's now tall and beautiful and rebuilding her life and catching up on her education. But her experience isn't an isolated one. The Coalition for the Removal of Organised Pimping, CROP, is a Leeds-based charity. It supports the parents of children who've been groomed and currently has 100 families on its books. Its chairwoman, Hilary Wilmer, says there's a definite pattern.